What would you do if silence slowly destroyed your dignity? This powerful story follows Huyen and Dae as they make a brave decision to stand up against malicious rumors that threaten to break her spirit. From the moment they report the truth to the police, to the emotional confrontation that forces regret and accountability, and finally to a choice of forgiveness that brings healing and peace, this journey is filled with tension, courage, and humanity. Stay with us to witness how justice meets compassion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss stories that touch the heart and inspire strength. After many sleepless nights weighed down by quiet humiliation and unspoken pain, Huyen and Dae finally reached a decision that neither of them had wanted to make, yet both knew was necessary. For a long time, Huyen had chosen silence, believing that patience and kindness would eventually calm the storm of malicious rumors surrounding her. However, the words spoken behind her back by Mr. Dae's wife did not fade with time. Instead, they spread slowly through their community, twisting the truth and leaving invisible scars on Huyen's dignity and peace of mind. Each careless remark, each distorted story chipped away at her confidence, making her question herself even when she had done nothing wrong. Dae watched all of this with growing concern. As someone who loved Huyen deeply, he felt helpless, seeing her forced to carry the burden alone. There were moments when he wanted to confront the situation directly, to demand an explanation or defend her honor in anger. Yet he understood that emotional reactions would only worsen the conflict. What Huyen needed was not a loud argument, but protection, real, lawful protection that would stop the harm at its root. After many long conversations filled with hesitation, tears, and quiet determination, they agreed that seeking help from the authorities was the only responsible path forward. On the morning they decided to report the matter to the police, the atmosphere between them was heavy but resolute. The walk to the station felt longer than usual, as if every step carried the weight of their shared fears and hopes. Huyen's hands trembled slightly, not from doubt, but from the emotional toll of finally confronting what she had endured. Dae noticed and gently held her hand, offering silent reassurance that she was not facing this alone. His presence was steady, a reminder that standing up for oneself does not mean standing by oneself. When they explained the situation to the police officers, Huyen spoke calmly but firmly, recounting the repeated incidents of defamation and emotional harm. Her voice, though controlled, reflected months of suppressed pain. Filing the report was not an act of revenge, it was a declaration that her dignity mattered. Dae supported her words, emphasizing that their goal was simply to stop the spread of falsehoods and restore peace to their lives. In that moment, Huyen felt a subtle shift within herself, a sense of strength she had forgotten she possessed. Choosing to speak out marked the beginning of reclaiming her voice, her self-respect, and her right to live without fear of unjust judgment. Following the formal report, the police moved swiftly, treating the matter with seriousness and professionalism. Within days, Mr. Dae's wife received an official summons requesting her presence for questioning. The moment she stepped into the police station, the confidence she once carried so easily seemed to dissolve. The familiar sense of control she had exercised through whispered words and subtle manipulation no longer existed within those plain walls. Instead, she was faced with the weight of her own actions, laid bare under the calm but unwavering scrutiny of the investigators. As the questioning began, the officers carefully presented the information they had gathered, statements, timelines, and accounts that revealed how her words had traveled and the damage they had caused. At first, she attempted to defend herself, brushing off her remarks as harmless opinions or misunderstandings taken too seriously. Yet with every question, every quiet pause, it became harder for her to maintain that stance. The facts stood firm, and the truth left little room for denial. Gradually, her voice lost its sharpness, replaced by hesitation and unease. For the first time, she was forced to listen, not to gossip, but to the consequences of her behavior. As the reality settled in, regret began to surface. The investigators explained, in measured tones, how repeated defamation could inflict lasting emotional harm and carry legal responsibility. Hearing those words spoken aloud struck something deep within her. Memories of her own past struggles and moments of vulnerability rose unexpectedly, and she realized how cruel it had been to dismiss another woman's pain so casually. The image of Huyen, silent yet wounded, no longer felt distant or abstract. It became painfully real. When Huyen and Dai were invited into the room to confront the situation, the atmosphere shifted. Gone was the woman who once spoke without restraint. In her place stood someone visibly shaken, her posture lowered, her eyes clouded with remorse. With a trembling voice, she admitted that jealousy, prejudice, and unchecked assumptions had guided her words. She confessed that she had never intended for the rumors to grow so large, yet now understood that intention did not erase responsibility. Turning directly to Huyen, she offered a sincere apology, acknowledging that she had failed to treat her with the respect and fairness every person deserves. In that quiet moment, the room felt heavy with unspoken emotion. Dai stood beside Huyen, his presence calm and protective, while Huyen listened without interruption. She felt a complex mix of emotions: relief, lingering hurt, and an unexpected sense of clarity. The apology did not erase the past, but it marked a turning point. For Mr. Dai's wife, it was the first step toward accountability. For Huyen, it signaled that the truth had finally been recognized. The process of justice had not only uncovered wrongdoing, but had also revealed the fragile humanity behind it, setting the stage for what would come next. As the final words of apology faded into the quiet room, Huyen remained silent, her gaze lowered, her thoughts moving through layers of pain, memory, and hard-earned resilience. The past months replayed in her mind like fragments of a storm, whispers that followed her through familiar streets, judgment hidden behind polite smiles, nights when she questioned her own worth, despite knowing she had done nothing wrong. Forgiveness, she realized, was not a simple decision made in a single moment. It was a journey that demanded courage equal to, if not greater than, the courage it had taken to speak out. Huyen lifted her eyes slowly and met the gaze of Mr. Dai's wife. In that instant, she no longer saw only the person who had hurt her, but also a woman burdened by her own flaws and mistakes. The sincerity in the apology was unmistakable, fragile yet real. Huyen understood that holding on to anger would only bind her to the past, allowing those painful words to continue shaping her present. She had already fought hard to reclaim her voice. Now she wanted to reclaim her peace. With a calm and steady tone, Huyen spoke. She acknowledged the hurt she had endured, not to accuse, but to honor her own experience. She explained that the rumors had caused deep emotional wounds and had shaken her trust in people around her. Yet she also expressed her belief that people could change when confronted with the truth. Choosing forgiveness, she said, was not about forgetting what had happened, nor was it a sign of weakness. It was a conscious decision to let the pain stop there, rather than carrying it forward into her future. The room seemed to exhale as her words settled. Mr. Dai's wife bowed her head, tears forming as she whispered another apology, grateful for the mercy she had not expected. The police officers, having witnessed countless disputes, recognized the rare weight of this moment, where accountability met compassion and justice found balance rather than division. They concluded the proceedings with formal reminders and guidance, ensuring that such behavior would not be repeated and that the matter would end there if all parties honored their commitments. As Huyen and Dai stepped outside the police station, the air felt lighter, as though a long-held burden had finally been released. Sunlight filtered through the trees, and for the first time in a long while, Huen felt truly present in the moment. Day squeezed her hand gently, pride and relief evident in his eyes. He admired her not only for her strength in standing up for herself, but for her grace in choosing forgiveness when she had every right to remain angry. Walking away together, Huen understood that this chapter of her life was closing. The experience had taught her the value of boundaries, the importance of truth, and the quiet power of compassion. Forgiveness did not erase the past, but it freed her from being defined by it. With Day by her side, she looked toward the future with renewed confidence, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, she now possessed the strength and the peace to face them.
Hello everyone. Wish you have a wonderful a new day. Xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Live Single RV. Rất vui vì ngày hôm nay lại được gặp lại các bạn trong câu chuyện hôm nay. Trong câu chuyện hôm nay của chúng ta thì đã kể về nội dung đó là việc mẹ chồng cũ của Huyền, và tức là vợ của ông Đại đã có những lời nói không đúng về Huyền. Và Huyền và Đệ thì sau khi biết được là mẹ chồng cũ của cô đã đi tung những tin đồn không đúng về cô thì đã quyết định là lên báo công an, để công an có thể giải quyết lấy lại công bằng cho cô. Và công an đã tiếp nhận và mời mẹ chồng cũ của cô lên làm việc. Trong quá trình làm việc thì mẹ chồng cũ của cô đã tỏ ra là rất là ân hận và đã có lời xin lỗi Huyền. Huyền rất là nhân từ đã quyết định tha thứ cho cho mẹ chồng cũ của cô. Và cô và Đệ đã trở về nhà tiếp tục cuộc sống bình thường tại nông trại. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn về câu chuyện Huyền, Đệ và bé May A sẽ còn được kể các video tiếp theo. Các bạn nếu thấy video hôm nay hay, hấp dẫn, hãy bấm like, share và để lại bình luận ở dưới video nhé. Đặc biệt đừng quên bấm vào nút đăng ký kênh để nhận được thông báo mới nhất về câu chuyện sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Live Single RV vào lúc 16 giờ chiều. Xin cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều đã luôn theo dõi và ủng hộ kênh của mình. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn vào ngày mai. Bye bye!